Hi, I'm John, and welcome to N-Scale Friday. We have this 8-unit set from Kato of the Amtrak Pacific Surfliner trains. This includes an SC44 Charger, a cab car, and 6 assorted other passenger cars that you might see on an Amtrak California Pacific Surfliner train set. As I said, this set comes from Kato, and it comes in a whole bunch of different variations, ranging in price from $420 MSRP for the analog/DC version, which this is, all the way up to $750 for the sound and light equipped version. And keep in mind that this is MSRP. Your best bet, as always, is to go to Kato's website and check out all the different variations on this set and decide what's right for you. Once you decide what's right for you, you can shop around and you'll probably find it for less.
So I don't usually do this, but this is such a nice little package. I wanted to show you how it is. It's like a book in here, and there's an outer sleeve. That leaves us with the case, and there's a little snap on the right side here. So if you just unsnap that guy, it'll open up. Then you have your owner's manual, protective foam, and then here's the set. And because there are so many pieces in it, what we're going to do is we'll do the locomotive almost like its own thing, like I usually do. Then we'll do each of the cars as separate little segments as well. I should mention that this kit comes with some extra parts here. This is for the locomotive and also for the cars. They're little trip pins, or some people like to call these air hoses. They're trip pins, okay? Air hoses are a different detail part altogether.
The manual that it comes with has information about what's included and then some information about, how to set up a train set. I do want to say, though, I've seen Pacific Surfliners and they do not tend to run trains this long. So I'm not sure where Kato got this information. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever seen a Surfliner train that includes this many cars, but this gives you an idea of how Amtrak might set up the consist. And then on the other side, you have some information about how to install the trip pins, how to disassemble the locomotive, and over here is how to put in the interior light unit that Kato offers. There's a lot of good information on this included page, and you'll want to pay attention, especially if you intend to modify the set. So here's a rundown of what's included in this set. We have the SC44. That's a Siemens Charger locomotive. And then you have 6 different variations on the coaches, which includes one that's a cafe car. And then the one here on the end is actually called a coach baggage car. It's a cab car. And that's because Pacific Surfliners are run in push-pull mode. So they need cab cars, and we'll be taking a look at that a little bit more carefully than the other ones because it does have some differences. But generally speaking, all of these cars are one of 2 models. It's either a Pacific Surfliner coach car, as seen here, or it's an Amtrak Superliner car, as seen here. Now, apparently, Amtrak California has some Superliner cars that they've repainted into the Surfliner scheme, like this. The Surfliner coaches have entry doors in 2 places, with a cluster of windows in between. And then the Superliner cars have only 1 door with a cluster of windows to the side of it. And here's an example of a Surfliner car that has only 1 door, just like the Superliner. The paint and markings on the locomotive are exceptionally good. The silver paint covers very thinly, and the pad printed paint scheme for lack of a better description, is very crisp, and all the small stuff can be read with magnification. This area here on the prototypes is a grill that you can see through, and what Kato has done is they've used a molded plastic piece that's clear but has little grill marks sort of molded into it. And I think this is an interesting way to show that detail without having to do a photo etched piece for it.
Also, I'm leaving it tipped up because I want to point out that the detail in the trucks and wheels also is really good. You can see that the wheels have additional plastic pieces in this area here. It's like the hub, I guess. And it looks really good. It has those little round, I don't know what they are, but they appear on the surface of the wheels on the real locomotives. And it's also shown here on the model. Looking at the detail on the front of the model, you can see the logo shows up really nicely down here. It has what looks to be molded hose detail down here. This looks like a separately applied snowplow. We have ditch and marker light detail here. There's a fully detailed interior, which you can see through the windows. It looks like it has molded windshield wipers molded straight onto the windshield. The number boards look really nice. That's a very crisp print on the 2118 there. And then also up here, you'll notice it has the little strobe. So there's quite a lot of detail on this model. Here's a look from the other side of the front. You can kind of see the windshield wiper detail a little better from this angle, I think. Here's a look at the fireman side. I'm going to tip it up here so you can see this is separately applied detail here. Here's a look at the rear of the model. Again, it has molded detail and some separately applied stuff. I've turned the model over and we're looking at the rear of it now, so I want to point something out here. It has these separately applied hose detail parts, and I know they're separately applied because they keep falling out. This is the receptacle where it fits in, this little slot here. And these are very, very small pieces. Very easy to lose if you're not being careful. So I would suggest to get some canopy glue or something and glue those in place. They've fallen out probably half a dozen times just in the process of handling this model for the review here. And I'm very careful when handling these models, so that's how easy these fall out. And here's a look at the rear of the model from the other angle on the engineer's side. Here's a look at the top of the model. All of the grille detail here and here, all of it is molded, but it's done in such a way, especially around this area. These fans, to me, look like they have some legitimate depth. That's just molded detail right there. And then the horn casting separately applied. I don't usually show the bottom of N-scale locomotives, but I thought I would this time just to point out that it looks like there's a provision for a speaker here in this fuel tank area. Okay, I have my DC power supply off camera here, and we're going to run the engine now. Trying to get it going as slow as I can just with DC. And this is a Kato, so it has really good low speed control. I don't know if I can get it to go any slower than that without it stalling out. Oh yeah, even slower. So we'll take a look at the lights now. And in order to do this, I have to hold the
locomotive in place, but when I get the motor going, you'll notice that the ditch lights, headlight, destination board, and number boards up here all come on. And I put it in reverse. I'll hold it back here. You'll notice that the rear marker lights, destination board, and number boards all come on. All right, so we'll do a once around on the Carpinteria Beach. You can tell this is a coach because it says over here on the side, it has the number and it says what kind of car it is. And this model also has really good paint and markings. And you can see that it has some corrugated detail on the side here. This is all molded stuff. And I believe that Kato is the only company that has released this kind of model in N scale. So this is what you get if you want to do a Surfliner train. The ends of these coaches have diaphragms around the vestibule door and then non-working rear marker lights. I should mention that I did a video on Amtrak Superliner coaches where I lit up these rear marker lights, and I've linked to that video in the description of this spotlight. So if you want an idea of how you can light those up, you're welcome to go take a look at that when you're done watching here. And here's a quick look at the other side of the same car. The roofs of the Surfliner cars are corrugated, and you'll notice that's in contrast to the Amtrak Superliner cars that are smooth. We'll look at one of those in just a minute. There isn't a whole lot to show on the bottom of the car, but I will take this opportunity to point out that these trucks have a provision for electrical pickup, and that's because these cars are lightable, and Kato has a kit that lets you light these cars pretty easily. The video I just mentioned a minute ago where I lit up the marker lights on one of these cars also is a tutorial on how to install Kato's lighting kits. So again, something to look out for if you're interested. All right, so I've done a switcheroo, and we're looking at the bottom of the Superliner car now. Same thing, these are truck-mounted Kato knuckle couplers with electrical pickup. And then as I was mentioning before, the roof of this car is a smooth look instead of that corrugated look. Here's a look at the side of the Superliner car. You can see it also has some corrugated detailing on the sides here. And the paint and markings on these cars also really good. There's no fuzziness in any of the lines that separate the red, white, and blue, and the Amtrak logo also looks really good. The end of the Superliner car is the same, with a little diaphragm and non-working rear marker lights. Here's a look at the Coldwater Canyon coach cab. Once again, the name of it is printed here, and the type of car is printed here along with the car number. We're not going to look at the ends or the top because it's the same as the one I already showed you. This one is the Imperial Beach, and this is a plain coach as well. This car is called the Sequoia Grove, and this is also just a plain coach. This one looks to be one of those Superliner cars because it has only one door here as opposed to the two that the Surfliner coaches have. This car is called the MacArthur Park, and it's a Pacific business class car. And that brings us to the Point Sur. Now this one is marked as a coach/baggage, but something I want to point out here is it has some different windows over here. Now what is that, you say? This is actually the cab car, and we're going to take a look all the way around this one because it's pretty cool. So what is a cab car? I suppose if you're not in an area that has push-pull style commutes, you might not know this. A cab car has a control stand up here. And what happens is when the train reaches its destination and it's going to head back in the direction from which it came, the engineer gets out of the locomotive and goes all the way to the other end of the train, where this car would be, and sits up in here, because there's a full control stand in here and a seat for the engineer to sit in. Now, on this side, there's also a window with a seat. I don't know if they have a full control stand on this side, but I do know that I've seen other people sitting up here on Caltrain, which is what we have where I live. Now, Caltrain has since gone electric, so we don't have cab cars anymore like this, but when we did, that's what I saw. Something else you'll notice that's different about this car is it has the barricade striping, right? Now, it has the rear marker lights, which is normal. That would be on any of these coaches. But it also has ditch lights, a headlight, and molded horn detail. And that's because all of those things are required on cab cars as the front of the train when it's running in push mode. Here's a view of the cab car end from the other angle. Here's a look at the other broad side of the car. Here's what I'm going to call the back end of the car. The roof of this car has the corrugated detail as well as an antenna. And finally, here's a look at the bottom of the cab car. You'll notice that the coupler on this side is actually truck mounted. This is the side that would attach to the rest of the train over here. And then the coupler on the side under the cab is actually body mounted. I find that kind of interesting. I'm not sure why they did it that way, except that this coupler presumably won't have to be used if this is the end of the train. But you'll notice there's also this little compartment here. And if you open this up, you'll see that there's some electrical connections in there. And that's for the decoder that Kato offers to be a lighting decoder for the cab car. Because all of the lights in this car actually work. And I'm going to show you that next. This is the DC version. And when I turn the power up on my DC power pack, you'll see that the headlight and ditch lights, as well as the number boards, all come on. And when you reverse the polarity, you get the rear marker lights as well as the number boards. All of these coaches, including the cab car, come in between 1.4 and 1.6 ounces. The NMRA recommended weight for cars of this length is about 1.5 ounces. This is a very solid release from Kato, and I like the fact that they've made it available 5 different ways to reflect whatever you want. Everything from this pared down DC only version that I showed you here today, all the way up to the DCC installed, decked out full version. I think that's a nice thing that they've done there for variety. And it gives people who don't want to spend as much money a great opportunity to buy them for less and then deck them out yourself. I think that's pretty cool. I also like the fact that they've included all the different types of cars that you might see on a Pacific Surfliner train these days, including the Amtrak Superliner. That's something that they didn't really have to do, but they're all there. The other thing I really like about this set is the cab car has all of the lights, even on the least expensive version. I think that's really cool. And they look good too. So good on you, Kato. I also want to take just a second to thank my friend Dan. I know him from the Fern Creek and Western and also from Roaring Camp here. Dan let me borrow this set so that I could share it with you here on the channel. So thank you very much, Dan. Greatly appreciated. Anyway, good job, Kato. I'm looking forward to seeing more, and I'll see you all next time.